Welcome to TheTechCove with your host, Sean Hasbury. Hear questions and interviews, plus lots of accessible software, and just a whole lot of fun. And now, here's Sean.
Roll the dice there, polyhedral. One of us is a spellcaster. Got to listen to the master. Save the party from disaster. Look, feel, guide and tow. To the forest I go. Observe like the road. Feathered friends from below. These plastic parts interlock. Red, yellow, blue, wall and stock. To build a ship or a dock. I'm up all night to get freaky.
I'm up all night to get freaky. I'm up all night to get freaky. I'm up all night to get freaky. I'm up all night to get freaky.
It's performance art, well, sort of. My fandom hits a new dimension. Dressing up to get attention. See you at the next convention. Yeah. Online gaming's the case. Azeroth is the place. My quest is on pace. Watch me swing my mace. I start with extract the malt and yeast and store in a vault. Fermenting comes to a halt. I'm up all night to get hoppy. It's time to head to the bar. My team's in first place so far. Like this game on NPR. I'm up all night to get hoppy.
I'm up all night to get festy. I'm up all night to get festy. I'm up all night to get festy. I'm up all night to get festy.
And that is exactly what we're going to do this episode. We'll start with how well TalkBack works with the new S Pen from Samsung. How to change the default web browser, as if you dare upgrade. Also, if you have Windows 10. And getting personally geeky by testing your bandwidth, upload and download speed. Instead of me yakking your ear off about it, because I know you don't want to hear the sound of my lovely voice. Without further ado, I'll let other people talk about it.
This is Tomasz Geeky. This podcast is meant to explore the Note 5 and the stylus, which comes with the device. The Note 5 is actually a very large phone, but it tries to be smaller. The screen itself is a 5.7-inch QHD resolution screen. It does feature full touch, of course, and it's very tall. It is also wider than the iPhone 6, but only a bit, not by too much. And that's okay, and I've been using it just to see how it works. One thing that I found interesting when I got this phone is that I never thought that the stylus could be useful for those who are blind. It is tucked into the body of the phone, although inserting it in backwards could be a really bad idea. For some reason, on this Note 5, you can actually insert the stylus in backwards, essentially ruining the mechanism that works with the stylus to detect whether it's plugged in or not. So, just a friendly reminder, it is a design flaw with the Note 5, and it does work somewhat with TalkBack. I was surprised to find this out when I first tried the stylus, but there are some interesting aspects to it that could help those who have some partial sight. So, I have my Galaxy Note 5 here.
Double tap and drag to open phone. Button. Use fingerprint to unlock.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the fingerprint to unlock.
Device unlocked.
I have the stylus pulled out, and it's a very light stylus made of plastic. It's a very comfortable to hold accessory to this phone. If I'm on this home screen and I put the stylus on the screen, I start dragging it around, nothing happens. If I hover above the screen, this is what happens.
Internet, applications, Google folder,
So I'm moving the stylus around in a circular motion above the screen.
Contacts, Internet, Google camera, Google folder, page 204.
And if I flick the stylus left, it should work.
Page 304.
It switches pages. Oh, that was right. So if I flick left,
T-Mobile My Account. Page 404.
there we go. Now we're on 4. So I'm just going to flick right.
Applications. Facebook. Page 404. Applications. Page messages.
Okay, now it's switched over. It's a bit tricky. Definitely is a bit tricky to get this.
Applications.
But the
Applications.
stylus essentially works as a tool that you can use to interact with the screen. I thought you could kind of move it down twice to double tap. And let's try that. I was able to get that at once.
Messages.
Let's see. Let's go into...
Messages.
Let's try messages. I don't touch the surface of the screen.
Messages.
I'm kind of hovering above it. Yep. So...
Applications. Messages. 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 Nick.
Yeah, okay,
Messages.
so now it's
Nick.
in messages.
Definitely. Unfortunately, acting home screen. T-Mobile TV widget.
So, there we go. You can activate it with the stylus, but it's a bit tricky. However, there is accessibility here kind of built into that. If you're in a message, so let's go back to the compose
Contact
button
messages.
there.
Applications.
I'm just going to use the touchscreen now.
Messages.
But messages.
Messages.
and
Messages.
let's
First
see.
item. Compose new message button.
Compose new message. So
Edit box enter recipients. Editing. Showing items
Click.
1 to 6 of 25.
we're going to click this, and let's go into the field where you type in your message.
Add from contacts attached button. Edit box enter message.
And-
Double tap to edit.
And enter message. There we go. So now I'm going to flick around the keyboard with the stylus hovering above the screen.
Capital T.
Yep, there's a keyboard.
Edit box T editing. H J
How do you
R 6 Y U
Okay.
J
This
J
is kind
U
of a bit trippy of a feeling because you can kind of see how
U,
wide the
I.
keyboard is.
J I U I U U I.
Oh, what do we put in there?
Edit box T editing.
Nope, just still the T. Okay.
V D H H G G G
You basically move the stylus down, and then you're going to
H.
type in that key.
H U U. Back U deleted. Back H deleted. Back G deleted. Back capital T deleted. All
Okay.
characters deleted.
So you can get used to this if you exercise with it, and it could give more of a tactile feeling for the keyboard if you're into that, I think. Let's go into the S Note app.
Home screen. Contacts. Messages. Applications.
Again,
Applications.
just going to use the touchscreen now.
Applications. Page 1, page 2 of 2. S Note. S Health. Play Store. Phone. Play Store. S Health. S Note.
There it is, S Note.
S Note.
And I'm just going to
Categories. Drop
go
down with search
here.
button. More options button. Search button. Categories. Drop down list. All.
Okay, so we're on the main screen of S Note. I'm just going to go to the New Note button here.
Categories. Drop down list. Create new note button.
And there we go. It's on the left side of the screen.
S Note.
So now I'm in this window where
Save button. Handwriting mode button. Eraser mode button.
there are several modes,
Text mode button.
and we're going to do the
Eraser mode button. Handwriting mode button.
handwriting mode. Now, I cannot move my finger on the screen here, and there's nothing that is at the bottom. But if I place the stylus on the screen, you will hear this. So I'm just kind of moving the stylus around on the screen. Let's raise the volume on this a little bit. So I just have the stylus resting on the screen, and I'm going to go from left to right. Now, if I want to speed up my motion and just do like a scrubbing motion right now, you can hear that. It's pretty amazing. And you can do... You can't really tap it, but you can do a lot of stuff here. You know, just do a drawing. Unfortunately, you do get to hear talkback, although you could turn talkback off, and you still get the sound. So once talkback is off, now I can do... And you won't hear that sound. Yay, scrub the screen. So, if I wanted to draw circles, because circles are fun. So you can tell the force of my touch, which is absolutely amazing, I think. The fact that the stylus allows you to do that. And if you don't use the screen reader, perhaps use the magnifier, there are a lot more gestures that you can do with the stylus. You can hover above certain items to see kind of a popover of what's going on. Essentially, it's 3D touch almost, but Samsung's kind of implementation of it, which is awesome. Is there a reason that a blind person should get a Galaxy Note 5? Absolutely. The bigger screen, which is worth it for some, because you can do more on the touchscreen and feel up pages, the way that they look, is a good reason. But also the stylus. The stylus actually makes this phone better. It helps to kind of give it an edge, pun intended, on what you can do. Well, this is Tamash Gates. I hope you enjoy this podcast. For more podcasts, articles, and great content, visit us at www.coolblindtech.com. Send us an email at cbt@coolblindtech.com or follow us on Twitter at coolblindtech. Cheerios.
And now, a message from Morgan Freeman.
Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman, here with a holiday tip. Decorating your home for Christmas can be exhausting, especially when you're in competition with a neighbor who goes all out. This year, try something different. Use the time you would have spent hanging snowflakes and popcorn garland to assemble a pipe bomb. Then, late one evening, detonate it beneath that neighbor's crawl space. Could the loss of life and catastrophic property damage result in prison time? Sure. But whose house is gonna look better on Christmas Day? Yours, muchacho. Yours. Happy holidays.
Good morning. In today's podcast, Windows 10. Now calm down. It's not that bad. I think we're safe to say that we were all disappointed with screen reader accessibility in Windows 10. And we could spend all day arguing about whose fault it was. Is it the assistive tech companies or was it Microsoft's? Microsoft's. But at least for now, it is what it is and we've just got to deal with it. Now, of course, many of the accessibility problems center around the new Edge browser and the engine it uses. Out of the box, Windows 10 will use the Edge as its default browser, and I've heard some people ask, how do I change this? So that's what we're going to do today in this podcast. I'm going to quickly show you how to change your default apps. It's really simple, really easy. This is going to be a quick one. So here we go. I am on the Windows 10 desktop. I am using NVDA screen reader with the vocalizer voice Ava. And before I actually show you how to change the default apps, I'm going to quickly create a desktop shortcut to a web page. The purpose for creating this shortcut is just so that it gives me an easy way to demonstrate which is currently set as the default Windows browser. It's not actually something you will need to do. So if you're not interested in knowing how to create a shortcut, you can skip past this bit. So to create a desktop shortcut, first thing, I hit Windows E to bring up the File Explorer.
File Explorer window, Items View List, Frequent Folders Grouping Expanded.
Then I hit Shift Tab to go to the Tree View pane.
Tree View, Level 0 Quick Access Expanded 1 of 2.
Now I'm just going to hit the letter D. That will take me through all the D items in that tree view.
D. Level 1 Dropbox left paren pinned right paren not checked 1 of 9. D. Desktop left paren pinned right paren not checked 2 of 9 level 1.
And there we go. There's desktop. I'm going to hit enter on that to select it. Now to create a new item on that desktop, I hit Alt-H for the home ribbon and then W to bring up the new items list.
Desktop window, ribbon property page, ribbon tabs tab control, home tab pressed selected submenu. Home property page, new toolbar, new item drop down button pressed submenu create a new item in the current location, new item list.
So now we have a item list of all the new things we can create, folders, text files, etc. You can just use the up and down arrow keys and hit enter on the item you want to select, but I'm just going to hit S to choose shortcut.
Create shortcut, type the location of the item : edit Alt plus T, blank.
Now we get a nice dialog box to create the shortcut. Now a shortcut can point to anything, a file or a location. In this case, I'm going to point it towards a website. Of course, it's going to be www.coolblindtech.com.
www.coolblindtech.com.
Then just hit enter for the next screen.
Type a name for this shortcut : edit Alt plus T. Selected new internet shortcut.
And in the final step, you just name the shortcut. So I'm just going to call it Cool Blind Tech Site.
COOLBLINDTECH space SITE.
And hit enter to finish. Now I'm going to hit Windows D to go back to my desktop and I should see the new shortcut there.
Folder view list. Recycle bin 1 of 3.
I'll just arrow down through my desktop items.
Storage folder 2 of 3. Cool blind tech site 3 of 3.
And there it is. There's our shortcut we just created. Now if I hit enter on that, it will open the Windows default browser and open the web page.
Cool blind tech and dash latest in assistive tech, news, reviews and interviews dash Microsoft Edge window, Microsoft Edge window.
And as you can hear, it opens the website up in the Edge browser by default. So as the Edge browser set as default, it will mean that any links you click on inside emails or messages, anything like that, will automatically open in Edge. So let's change that. In Windows 10, like leaving a lover, there's 50 ways to do anything. But I'm going to show you the quickest, easiest way to change your default apps. So I've closed the Edge browser and File Explorer I had open, and I'm back on the Windows 10 desktop. And all I have to do is hit the Windows key to bring up the Start menu.
Cortana window, search box edit, blank.
And I'm going to type default web browser. I know, as simple as that, who'd have thought it? As you're typing this in, you will hear all the suggestions that are coming up.
Dropbox, Skype, default programs, default programs, choose a default web browser, system settings 1 of 1 level 1.
That's the option we want. Choose a default web browser. Let's hit enter on that.
Settings window, web browser, Microsoft Edge button.
So the system settings window opens up, and even better than that, the focus is put directly on the option that we need. You'll hear it said web browser, Microsoft Edge button. Now if we hit space,
choose an application window, Firefox button.
We now get a list of applications we have installed on our computer that we can use to browse the web. So the first item there you'll hear is Firefox, but if I press tab I can see the other options.
Google Chrome button, Internet Explorer button, Microsoft Edge button, Look for an app in the store button.
And the look for an app in the store is always the last item in the list. So remember, this list may look different on your computer. I've got Firefox and Chrome installed on mine. You may only have Edge and Internet Explorer. Now Firefox is my favourite browser, so I'm going to use that as the default one. So to select it, if I just hit tab again, the focus will jump back up to the top of the list.
Firefox button.
And I'm going to hit space to select Firefox. When you hit space, the list will close and you go back to the system settings.
Web browser, Firefox button.
As you can hear, it now says web browser, Firefox. See, I told you it was easy. Let's jump back to the Windows 10 desktop and try out that shortcut. So Windows D for desktop.
Folder view list. Recycle bin 1 of 3. Storage folder 2 of 3. Cool blind tech site 3 of 3.
And now if I press enter on the shortcut.
Mozilla Firefox busy. About : blank busy. About : blank. Cool blind tech and dash latest in assistive tech. News, reviews and interviews busy.
There we go, we now have Mozilla Firefox set as our default browser. Fantastic. Also, it's not just the web browser default you can change in that section. If I just Alt-Tab back to the system settings, I'll quickly go through the other options there. So starting from the top and just tabbing my way through, we have
Calendar, choose a default button. Email, choose a default button. Maps, Maps button. Music player, Groove Music button. Photo viewer, Photos button. Video player, Films and TV button. Web browser, Firefox button. Reset button.
As you can see, there's a few options there you can play with. For example, email. The Windows 10 email client is still inaccessible, so you may want to change that to maybe Outlook. The reset button at the end is just if you have any problems, you can hit that and it will reset everything back to how it was out of the box. Finally, under the reset button, you will find 3 more links. Now, these are slightly more advanced.
Choose default applications by file type link.
So for this first one, you can set what program opens what files. So for example, you could say I want MP3 files to open in VLC player, but I want WAV files to open in Audacity.
Choose default applications by protocol link.
With this second option, you could say I want FTP sessions to open in Chrome, but I want HTTPS sessions to open in Internet Explorer, for example.
Set defaults by app link.
And as for this final one, well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. It seems to be an amalgamation of all of the options so far, and I've yet to find a reason to use it. So that's it for the default app settings. Now, as I said earlier, there are 50 ways to do anything in Windows 10. You can get to the same options by hitting Windows I, then navigating to System Settings, then finding Default Apps section. But this way is just more direct and takes you exactly to where you want to go. Also, in the Start menu, you may hear the option Default Programs. If you open this will open the control panel, but there is accessibility issues with this. And all the links and options there pretty much take you back to what I've shown you here already. Okay guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you found this somewhat useful. And if you'd like to get involved with us at Cool Blind Tech, whether it's podcasts, articles, audio editing, or anything you think you can help us with, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
And now, a message from Morgan Freeman.
Hello, I'm Morgan Freeman, here with a holiday tip. Shopping for gifts can be frustrating, especially when the person you're looking for can be a real jackass. This year, get them something more fitting, like a pile of cat use prophylactic, or my favorite, a firm, well-placed kick in the crotch berries. Not only will you be giving them what they deserve, but my gut tells me you'll never have to shop for them again. Happy holidays!
As I was sitting here, listening to Pandora on my iPhone 6s Plus, I pondered out loud, what's it like on a new Apple TV? So let's find out what it's like together.
This is Missy. Today I'd like to show you the Pandora app, which recently became available for the 4th generation Apple TV. And this is a very accessible app. I'm surprised that there hasn't been a little more talk about it so far. I will show you how to sign in, and I will show you how to access your list of stations and how to thumbs up or thumbs down a song. I was planning to show you how to create a station, but unfortunately that part of the app doesn't seem to be accessible. I couldn't find, once I had typed in the name of an artist, I couldn't find where to submit it. So we will be skipping that, but I'll show you where it is, and you could explore it on your own if you so choose. So without any further delay, let me open the Pandora app. I'm flipping left and right with my finger on the touchpad of the Apple TV remote to make sure I'm on the correct icon.
Computers. Row 3. Column YouTube. Read Pandora. Row 2. Column 4.
Okay, so I found Pandora, so I'm going to push down on the touchpad, which is pretty much like double tapping on your iToy. So here we go.
Sign in with email button.
Okay, you have two choices on this screen. The default one is to sign in with your email, or you can flip down with one finger.
Sign in with activation code button.
You can sign in with an activation code. I have a Pandora account, so I want to sign in with email.
Sign in with email button.
So I will push that.
Email, text field.
Now I will pause this while I enter my information, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, I've finished typing in my information, so I'm going to use one finger to flick down, and we should land on the done button.
Uppercase letters, done button.
I had to flick down twice. So we're on done, and I will press the touchpad.
Shuffle your stations.
Okay. Now this is a cool screen. It's got all our stations. First we'll start at the top of the screen. I'm flipping, or using one finger to flick up.
Selected. Ace, my stations. Tab, 1 of 3.
Okay, so we have my stations. And you flick to the right.
Create station. Type artist, genre or song.
Create station. This is the one that unfortunately does not seem to work because there's no way, at least no way that I found, to submit your information. So let me flick right one more time.
Account, tab, 3 of 3.
An account is where you can sign out if for whatever reason you need to do that, or if somebody else wants to sign in or whatever. So those are the 3 tabs at the very top of the screen. So let me go back to the one for my stations.
Create my stations. Tab 1 of 3.
And I don't think I have to, but I will press on that tab. I will press the touchpad.
Shuffle. Shuffle your stations.
Okay. So the first thing is shuffle. But right above that, between the tabs where we were and this.
Selected. AC. Button. 2 of 2.
We have 2 buttons. And these tell you how you can sort your stations. And you can sort them A to Z.
Recent. Selected. Button.
Or
1
you
of
can
2.
sort them by when you last listened to them. I will sort them from A to Z because I think in general I like that better and it'll just make more sense. So let me change it back. I'm flicking right with one finger.
AC. Selected. Button.
Okay.
2 of 2.
So now I can flick down with one finger and we will be in our list of stations.
Shuffle. Shuffle your stations.
You can shuffle them. And I guess that would just give you a whole big variety of things. So, I'm going to start flicking right, and you'll be able to hear the list of stations. And I'll pick one to stop on. And then I will be able to show you the next screen, which is very cool.
Acapella hits. Created in February 2013. Alternative pop. Children's music. Christian hard radio. Created in January 2013.
Okay, it looks like there's 3 stations per row. So I can flick down with one finger.
European pop. 80s rock. 80s pop favorites. Decent 90s pop. Christmas piano dreams. Created in December 2011.
Okay, and given that it's Christmas time, I thought that station was a lot newer. But anyway, given that it's Christmas time, we will use this station as our demonstration.
Christmas Piano Dreams. Greensleeves. Steve Urquiga. Holiday. Windham Hill Holiday Guitar Collection. 0. 2. 59.
Okay, so let me pause the music and we can explore this screen. It's a very simple screen, and honestly, despite the fact that you cannot create a station, or at least that I couldn't get it to work, I like this app so much better than the iOS version because there is no clutter anywhere. It works, and it does what you need, and it's quick and efficient. So, on this screen, I will use one finger to flick up to the top.
Now playing. Tab 1 of 4.
Okay, so we have 4 tabs now. We have now playing.
My stations. Tab 2 of 4.
My stations.
Create station. Tab 3 of 4. Account. Tab 4 of 4.
Basically all that's happened is we have added the now playing tab. So let me use one finger to flick back to the left so that we can explore what's in that tab.
Creates my now playing. Tab 1 of 4.
So I will flick down with one finger.
Christmas Piano Dreams. Greensleeves. Steve Urquiga. Holiday. Windham Hill Holiday Guitar Collection. 0. 6. 2. 52.
Okay, so basically what that told me is the name of the station, and then the artist, and the song, and how long has elapsed, and how long the song is, and the album that the song came from. I don't know. Let's see if we can actually see that one bit of information at a time. No. You hear the whole line at once. So if you need to hear it again, you can flick one finger, flick up or flick down to get back to it. So let me flick down one more time.
I controls thumb up outline button.
Okay, so we have a thumb up.
I controls thumb down outline.
Thumb
button.
down, which I got to by flicking left. Now I'll flick back to the right to the thumb up.
I controls thumb up outline button.
And I'll flick right again.
I control skip outline button.
And skip. And that is it for this screen. Very simple, very uncluttered. So I'm not keen on that song, so let's go ahead and skip it.
Christmas Piano Dreams. Greensleeves. Steve Urquiga. Holiday. Windham Hill Holiday Guitar Collection. 0. 6. 2. I controls thumb up. I control skip outline button. 2 of 2.
Okay, let's pause and see what the heck this is.
Now playing. Tab. 1 of 4. Christmas Piano Dreams. Messiah. Larghetto in C major. George Frederick Handel. Holiday. Pure Classical Christmas. 0, 4, 1, 50.
I don't think I want to hear that either, so I'll see if it'll let us skip again. And by the way, I use the pause button on the remote to pause it, and I think I have to unpause it before I can hit the skip button, so let me verify
I
that.
control skip outline button.
Skip.
Christmas Piano Dreams. The First Noel. What is this fragrance? Tim Story. Holiday. A Windham Hill Christmas. The Night Before Christmas. 0, 2, 26.
That one's okay. So I will give this one...
Christmas Piano Dream. I control stomach outline button.
I will give this one a thumbs up.
I control stomach filled button.
Okay, so it filled that. Instead of saying outline, it was filled. That way you know you pressed it. And again, anytime that if you would ever need to double tap in iOS on your Apple TV remote, you press down and you click the whole touchpad, and that's the exact same thing. So let me try the skip button one more time. I'm going to actually go ahead and...
I control skip outline button.
I will unpause it this time before I hit skip.
Christmas Piano Dreams. Christ Child Lullaby. Kim Robertson. Holiday. Christmas Lullaby. 0, 2, 23.
Well, that's pretty cool. So I will thumbs up that.
Christmas Piano Dreams. I control stomach filled button.
Well, that's interesting. Even though the song changed, I don't think the icons did.
Christmas Piano Dreams. The First Noel. What is this fragrance? Tim Story. Holiday. A Windham Hill Christmas. The Night Before Christmas.
Yeah.
I control stomach filled button. I control skip. Christmas Piano Dreams. The First Noel. What is this fragrance? Tim Story. Holiday. A Windham Hill Christmas. The Night Before Christmas.
Interesting. So when I skipped that time, the screen did not reflect that. So I guess that's something you need to keep in mind. I don't skip much as a general rule, so it might not be something you run into, but it sounds like that's something you need to be aware of, is if you skip, it may or may not update. Although I swear she read the new song when it came on, because it was something about a Christmas lullaby. But I don't know. But anyway, that is really all there is to this app. There are no other screens. It's very simple. You know, all the navigation is one finger flick up, down, left or right. And when you're ready to select something, you just press in on the touchpad. And that is everything. So, well, let's just go to one more station just to practice. Because I want to get to the station I probably will listen to later on. Anyway.
Now playing. Tab. 1 of 4.
Okay, so I flipped up to get to the tabs again, and I'm going to one finger flip right.
My stations. Tab. 2 of 4.
Okay. Now I will start one finger flicking down until I find the row that I think the one I want is in.
Alternative pop. 80s pop favorite. Keith and Kristen Getty. Holiday. Radio. Created in September 2015.
How cool is that? The station I wanted is right.
Fun folk songs. Keith and Kristen Getty.
Okay.
Holiday. Radio. Created in September 2015.
Anyway, that's the station I want, so I'm going to press in on the touchpad.
Keith and Kristen Getty. Holiday. Radio. Breath of Heaven. Sarah Groves. Holiday. Christmas Collection. 0, 3, 18. I control stomach outline button. I control stomach filled button.
I want to try that skip again and see if it actually changes.
I control skip outline button. 2 of 2. Now playing. Tab. 1 of 4. Keith and Kristen Getty. Holiday. Radio. What child is this? Point of Grace. Holiday. I control stomach outline Button. Eye controls thumb but filled. Button.
Okay, so that time, skipping didn't cause an issue. So it could have just been a fluke from that other time. But anyway, that is everything about this app. And if you have any questions, you can reach me on Twitter. I am at mitme_pie. That is MITMEE_PIE. Or you can send me an email to mitme_pie@gmail.com. So there you go, and I hope you found this informative, and I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by the AppleVis community. For the latest in resources and tips and tricks to help you get the best from your Apple device, visit us online at www.applevis.com.
Wish you were living with us. We wish you were living with us. We wish you were living with us. We're not happy you're here. You drive everybody crazy. You're hopelessly fat and lazy. You're constantly in the way here. So pack up your gear. You're feeding your face. You're taking up space. We wish you weren't living with us. We're not happy you're here. Correct us if we're mistaken, but those are long distance calls you're making. How long do you plan on taking advantage of us? We wish you weren't living with us. We wish you weren't living with us. We wish you weren't living with us. Get out of town now!
Just to give this show a little oomph on technology, I would like to feature this story that played on BBC4 about driverless cars. Take a listen.
Next year, we'll start testing driverless cars on roads in the UK. The race is on now around the world to develop the best technology, and we don't want to be left behind. Why all the fuss about driverless cars then? It's the ageing population. The hope is that by the time the baby boomers have to hand in their keys, there'll be a car that can drive for them. Our reporter Samantha Fennick went to this year's Tokyo Motor Show to see what's happening.
There are some things which all motor shows will have in common. The bright lights, the loud music, the dramatic reveals of new, very shiny cars. But this year, the Tokyo Motor Show is one of the most important events in the industry, because on display here are the most futuristic and advanced technological developments in car manufacturing. Last year I was at the Paris Motor Show, where all the car manufacturers had a hybrid on display. I found only one driverless car, which had been developed by a small French company, who didn't even have enough money to hire a stand in the main motor show hall. Just 12 months later, in Tokyo, all of the world's car manufacturers are talking about autonomous driving, and some, like Honda, Subaru, Mercedes, Toyota and Nissan, have a prototype on display. Richard Candler is the general manager for product planning for Nissan in Europe and Russia.
So the interior, when the driver selects the auto drive mode, the seats will fold back, they'll fold in towards each other as well, and allow the passengers to communicate more easily to each other, so they don't have to tip their head. And then the dashboard transforms as well, so the steering will fold away, and there'll be a big display that folds up and allows more entertainment opportunities whilst you're not having to pay attention to the driving task.
So you could watch the BBC iPlayer while you're driving around?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is really about taking some of the pain points out of driving. We'll be able to automate traffic jams, for example, so you'll be able to sit back and relax a bit as the car takes over, steering and accelerating and braking for you. We've been out test driving over the last few days around Tokyo in our prototype car, and it's perfectly capable from a technology point of view of driving around.
I was invited by Toyota, the world's largest car manufacturer, to a demonstration of their self-drive vehicle.
And we have a monitor inside the car. The video is coming from the demo car. You can watch what the driver is doing.
The demo car is the driverless car. I'm in the car behind, and I'm able to watch what the driver in the demo car is doing on a small TV monitor.
And you can notice on the monitor that the demo car driver is completely hands-off. His feet are also off the pedals.
The car has been fitted with sensors, camera systems, radars and laser scanners to allow it to detect where obstacles are and how to avoid them. Most car manufacturers are using similar technology, as Richard Candler from Nissan explains.
It can look for buildings, pedestrians, cyclists, and make sure it keeps clear of any danger. Just like the sat-nav has mapping today, there will be more detailed mapping which will help the car to navigate, but primarily it will be judging based on its own sensors. This isn't something crazy for the future. Actually, we already have a lot of these sensors on the car today. So today, Nissan has a technology called Safety Shield, which warns the customer of obstacles, of drifting out of lane, these type of things. And fundamentally, we're adding a bit more robustness to the system by adding a few more sensors and using this technology to actually then actuate and move the car, to move the steering and to move the accelerator and the brake.
All car manufacturers seem to agree that this technology for automated driving on the motorway will be fitted as standard to most cars by 2020. By 2025, Toyota predicts that they'll be manufacturing driverless cars for city centres. Chief Engineer at Toyota's Vehicle Intelligence Division, Ken Koibuchi, says there are many benefits to autonomous driving.
This technology will contribute for vehicle safety. I think this technology will enhance the driving age so the elderly people can drive more older age. Our ultimate goal is to provide freedom of mobility for everyone, everywhere.
Press the switch after we pass the toll gate. Then we were going to switch to the automated driving mode.
Then it was my turn to sit in the demo car and experience automated driving. By this time, it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The motorways around Tokyo City were getting busy with commuter traffic.
Going through the toll now. Then pay attention. The driver. Yes, going to press the button and
auto drive mode.
Whoa! And it's going to automatically merge into this traffic main road.
Oh, that's a bit strange. We've automatically merged onto the motorway.
Yeah, and automatically accelerated to merge to this traffic. And we're going to have a curve in front of us. And please pay attention to this move of the steering wheel because it's going to actually make it very smooth driving on this curve.
So the steering wheel is moving round to the right with no hands.
No hands, so this.
It's speeding up out of the bend as well, I felt that.
Yeah, it's accelerating automatically.
And it's making sure I keep in lane at all time, isn't it? So there's no wandering over the lanes.
そうですね、レーンのこうフラフラしてないですよね。This vehicle is going to automatically change the lane to the right lane.
And the indicator goes on itself as well.
Changing lanes.
The reason why it was not changing immediately because the system actually sensed the car behind it as it's approaching, so it made deliberately to make this car pass and then decided to merge after the car goes by.
What distance will it keep between me and the car in front?
Around 30 to 50 meters.
Reaching the interchange exit. Please turn off the system.
David Cameron wants the UK to become a world leader in driverless technology. In the summer, the government announced a research fund of £20 million to help manufacturers test autonomous driving on Britain's roads. They picked 4 cities: Bristol, Greenwich, Coventry and Milton Keynes, which will, from January, be piloting autonomous driving to see if it'll help improve safety and reduce congestion.
Changing lanes.
But driving autonomously might not be that easy for UK drivers to get used to. Toyota's test drivers have been doing it for years and still find it a little strange.
Yes, strange. It would be quite an appropriate word, actually, to use to describe that feeling. Especially in the early stages of development, I felt it was a little awkward, a little scary, to be frank.
Samantha Fennick reporting from one of the world's first driverless cars. She was in Tokyo.
Robert Kingett is a journalist and author who writes and speaks about many subjects, including LGBT and disability rights. His journalism work has appeared in several papers, magazines, websites and anthologies, and his memoir, entitled Off the Grid, is an account of living blindly without the internet.
The challenge begins at a park in Chicago, as I'm sure all great things do. A bitter cold slaps my face as I'm sitting with my cell in hand, looking at email with one ear and listening to my friend prattle on about his web development class in college. I can't help but multitask, however, biting a chunk out of my burger and navigating my email with my right thumb. I think that you didn't get the internship, he says as he masticates his fries. I mean, an internship with Wired would be totally epic. You'd be the only blind guy on staff. My phone tells me that a whole host of PR people have sent me about a dozen press releases without asking me if I'd be interested in their car rental service or something of that nature. My phone tells me, via my earpiece, that I have even more emails flooding into my inbox as I devour my burger. For the past week, I've been sending in application after application. Sure, I had several offers from people who didn't want to pay me for my articles. Friends, including Marcus, who is sitting across from me, have sent me several writing opportunities that didn't pay at all, and a few writing contests where there's a reading fee attached. I decide that I want to go to the park because I want to go away from my office, a.k.a. my apartment.
Robert joined me via Skype and first of all told me about his sight condition.
It's retinopathy due to prematurity. I am legally blind, so I have 2200 in my left eye. I can't see anything out of my right eye, not even light or shadows or anything of that nature. So I'm totally blind in that eye.
So tell us about your book, Off the Grid.
Okay, well, my book is a memoir. You could actually be extremely cheesy and call it a published journal that details my month of living without using any internet at all on cell phones, tablets, in college, or at my job. And it's a compilation of all my journal entries throughout that month of living without using any internet at all.
Every few minutes there's a bleep, then my synthesized voice tells me that I have a new email from whoever the sender is. I soon decide to switch my phone to offline mode and look at Marcus with an eyebrow raised. "Look, dog," he says, hurrying as if I may punch him if he doesn't finish a sentence. "I've been thinking about that. Just how useful is the internet to the disabled?" I stare at him without blinking for what seems like forever. I slowly utter, "A lot. It's a utility if you're disabled. For me, it's how I do my job. For others, it's—" "But homie," he practically shouts, forgetting his burger and fries on the table. "That's it!" I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about or even what direction he's headed in. I place my hand on his forehead to see if he has a fever. "You know what, dude? You really have to stop eating all them sweets. I think you're getting a bit ill. I think you're turning green." "I'm black, dingy," he says with a smile. Just to playfully argue, I utter, "No, I am." We both crack grins that could part the Red Sea, and I lean in closer, instinctively shutting out all other sounds so my attention is completely on him. I can't see his facial expression, but my ears are locked in and ready to listen. "What's it? What are you getting at? You want to have me call the FCC and go, 'Hi, Mr. Tom. Please don't destroy the internet because disabled people need it.' What's in your head?" He folds his hands on the table and leans in even closer, like we're CIA operatives who are on a covert mission. "Why don't you show how important the internet is?"
If you don't mind me asking, what age are you?
26 years old.
So do you remember a time when you didn't have internet?
No, I didn't. I was always connected to the internet in some way or shape or form. Like in education, it was heavily imposed on us at a young age to learn the internet and to learn how it works and to learn how it operates. So there wasn't a time where I didn't have internet. it was incredibly eye-opening. I mean, if you look at humans now, I encourage everybody to go on a bus or to go walking around your town or neighborhood and just watch everybody. You'll see that everybody is so connected and yet so distant from each other. When I was beginning the experiment, I thought, okay, my journal entries are going to be I did this, I did that, I did this. And it actually turns out that I started noticing things, such as how much conversation is lost today. A lot of people who have been connected to the internet, they say that they know how to carry on a conversation, and then when you talk to them, they talk in extremely clipped sentences, almost like a tweet, as if they're tweeting you, except in real life. So I've noticed that since I did not have Twitter and email to articulate my thoughts, it turns out that everybody else was incredibly horrible at just articulating their thoughts and expressing their feelings, me included, because I thought that, it's just much easier if I could just send an email to tell you how I feel. So it really was an eye-opener for me in terms of just the human aspect. I learned that everything is shifting to the internet. So in a few years, I don't think there will be a print dictionary anymore. I couldn't even find a large print dictionary or almanac or anything of that nature because everything is on the internet. So I had to adapt. And in terms of employment, a lot of jobs today, they require that you have internet access. And that is a form of discrimination that I've never even thought about. Because let's say that you just simply cannot afford internet. Most job applications, they will not take a paper resume anymore. So how can you fill out a job application if you don't have access to the internet at all?
Now, do you find yourself using it less after your time off?
I do, actually. I do. And it's kind of odd because everybody who knows me is like, you're not online as much anymore. I'm like, I know. I go to the park and I talk to people more. I am so engaged with the world around me that now I primarily use the internet for my job, and that's about it. I mean, I don't go online as much as I did. Before my off-the-grid month, I would actually be on the internet constantly, almost, talking to people and everything. And now I'm like, let's talk on the phone instead of on Facebook or through email. And everybody's like, why? So to answer your question, I am actually using the internet less. Obviously, I have to use it. But even now, I have the urge to send a fax to someone, and all my coworkers are like, you could just use email. I'm like, yeah, but I think a fax is easier. They're like, what? So it has changed me, and honestly, it's changed me for the better.
Now, if anyone wants to find out more and get a copy of the book, where can they go?
The easiest place to get it is on my website at blindjournalist.wordpress.com. It is available on Audible. So if you go to Audible or audible.co.uk and look up Off the Grid, it'll be there. The ebook edition is published by Synergy eBooks, and it's a really, really odd spelling. So that's why I say the easiest is to go to my site and get it from there.
And we're kind of both aware of the irony that a book about coming off the internet, you have to go on the internet to get.
Yes, I know.
Excuse me, I blink, aware of the sounds around me coming back into focus. A few feet away, a man tells a woman on a cell phone that he will definitely pick up the kids tonight. I gape at Marcus. I use the internet every single day to do every single thing. People know that's how I work, online. I don't understand what you're getting at there, buddy. You didn't let me finish. So finish, I say, as I steal a French fry from his bag and set it on my napkin. He smiles and takes it back before beginning. Okay, that's it, though. You use the web every day. You do your schoolwork, your job, everything on the internet. It's important to you, yeah? It is important to you. So, my dear friend, I have a challenge for you. I try to steal another fry, but he grabs the other end and we start to play tug-of-war with the fry. What's the challenge? Tweet the FCC what I'm doing every hour, including how it would help the disabled? Tempting, but nope. The fry bounces back and forth as we lightly tug toward each other. Tweet the Tribune every day and tell them why they should hire me? I yank it back to me. He yanks it back, along with his response, nope, another good idea, though. I yank back to me. So what is it then? I yank back to him. Go offline completely. No email, anything. The fry hovers between us, because I'm so stunned by his dare that I forget how to pull my arm toward me. There's a huge silence. To mock this silence, my phone bangs in my pocket, telling me that I have an email from DePaul University, and the subject is something about a seminar. You mean, like for a day? He grins and inches the fry toward him. I yank it back. No, silly boy. A week? I ask, yanking the fry closer to me. It almost makes it to my chest. When he yanks it back, he has a grin the size of the USA. A month, he says.
That's T. David Rutherford reading from Off the Grid by Robert Kingett. As we said, the book's available in many different places, including Audible and Synergy ebooks, but all the links for all those places are available at Robert's website, which is blindjournalist.wordpress.com. And Robert, thank you very much for joining me today on radio.
Thank you for having me.
Hello, my name is Justin, and today we are going to go over the speedtest.net application for iOS. What is speedtest, you might be wondering? Well, basically what speedtest allows you to do is to test your network speeds to see how fast it is. It's a very handy app, especially I use it a lot on public Wi-Fi to determine how fast the Wi-Fi is and what I'm working with. It's not too difficult to navigate, so without any further ado, let's get into this.
Unlock passcode field, secure, text field is editing.
So, we've unlocked the screen. Let's go
Open.
Launch speed test.
Power, speed test.
Speed test.
Double tap to open. Speed test, finding the best server. Begin test button.
As soon as you launch the app, you will see the begin test button. Let's just do a test to see how this works.
Begin test. Preparing. Upload testing ping.
So
testing
it will
ping.
say it's testing your ping. So your ping is how fast
ping 16 ms testing download.
Okay. So testing download.
23.45 megabit. 23.52.
So we'll have the download speed as it's testing it
0.
on the screen.
Download speed 23.72 mbps. Testing upload. 2.63. 2.66. 2.68. Upload speed. 2. Share result button.
It does talk a lot during the test, unfortunately. Let's just go over, for those who don't know, what ping, download, and upload is.
Download ping 16.
So ping is when the device that you're on sends a signal or, ping to the router. So in this case, my ping is 16 milliseconds.
Download speed 23.72 mbps.
Download speed is done in megabits, not megabytes. That's a very important distinction to make. They're two different things. And that is how fast you're able to download things, obviously. And your upload speed
2.74 mbps.
Same thing, in megabits per second, and it's how fast you can upload things as well.
Share result button.
As soon as the test is done, there will be a share result button.
Test again button.
A test again button.
Remove ads button.
As well as a remove ads button. Because I have the free version, it does have ads. You can remove the ads. Let's just click the button to see how much that is.
We may be an ad-supported app, but we understand some would prefer speed test without ads. Get an ad-free experience and help bring new features to the app for only $1.19. A single purchase works across all of your iOS devices forever. We appreciate your support.
$1.19 Canadian would translate to 99 cents American.
Cancel button.
So let's see. Cancel. Let's share this
Download
result.
speed. Upload speed. 2. Share result button. Share result. Alert. Cancel button. Enable AirDrop. Tap to turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to share with AirDrop. Message button.
So
draggable. Mail button.
There's
draggable.
A lot of
reminders button.
different
draggable.
ways I can share
Notes
this.
Button. Twitter button. Draggable.
I'm just going to share this
Double
on my
tap and
Twitter.
hold. Selected.
You can follow me on Twitter
Text
at
field is editing.
SUAC, that's S33WACK.
Post. Text field is editing. Character mode. Check out my Ookla speed test result. What's your speed? Hashtag speed test.
And
Twitter.
let's post this
Cancel.
to
Twitter.
Twitter.
Post. Button. Post. Test again. Button. Remove ads.
Don't quote me on this. Usually, from what I found with speed tests, it takes about 70 megabytes of data. So if you do have restrictions on how much data you can use, you may want to bear that in mind. Unless you have a lot of data, it's not advisable to do it over a cellular connection because you'll run out of data fairly quickly if you do it often enough. Let's go to the rest of the app. So this app has a standard tab layout. So bottom left we have
Selected. Speed test. Tab. 1 of 4.
Next up is
Results. Tab. 2 of 4. Settings. Tab. 3 of 4. About. Tab. 4 of 4.
Let's go into results.
Results. Tab. 2 of 4. Date November 15th, 1:03 p.m. Download speed 23.72 Mbps. Upload speed 2.74 Mbps. Ping 16 milliseconds. Actions available.
I can
Delete. Activate item. Default action.
do either of those things, and to do that you just do a swipe down with the router, and you go to your actions setting on your router. We're in the results screen. So first up we have
Batch operation. Button. Delete or email all results. 2 results. Sort by : type. Button. Selected. Sort by : time. Button. Sort by : download. Button.
As you can see, Alex does glitch a little bit. It says sort by.
Sort by : upload. Button. Sort by : ping. Button.
So those are all the different ways that you can sort your results. So let's go to
Date November 15th, 1:03 p.m. Download speed 23.72 Mbps. Upload speed 2.74 Mbps. Ping 16 milliseconds. Swipe up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate.
So with this, I can either
delete
or
activate item. Default action.
Let's click on this and see what pops up.
Download 23.72 MB. Button.
So we do have some unlabeled buttons here.
Button. Date November 15th, 1. Sort by : ping. Sort by : upload.
That's the
Sort
back
by :
button.
Date November 15th, 1:03 p. Download.
The second button along is
alert. Cancel. Enable airdrop sharing.
the
airdrop.
share button.
Cancel. Button.
And the third button
November 5th button
is
alert. Are you sure you want to delete this result?
delete.
No button. No.
Let's look at what the actual result says now.
November 15th button. November 15th, 2015, 1:03 p.m.
I'm just flicking to the right here.
Wi-Fi SSID NSA surveillance station.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Download 23.72 Mbps. Data used 42.4 megabytes.
Oh, okay, I was wrong. It wasn't about 70 megabytes. It was 42.
Upload 2.74 Mbps. Data used 5.0 megabytes. Ping 16 milliseconds. Server location Edmonton. Client location LAT 53 points. Button.
There's another unlabeled button.
External IP 68. Internal IP 10. Speed test. Tab 1 of 4.
And then it just has your external IP and your internal IP. So I just flicked right through these things. You can also use Explore by touch. Now let's go to the
settings. Tab 3 of 4. Edmonton AB. Current server.
So
Toulouse. Change your server. Button. Toulouse.
That's actually TELUS, but it pronounced it wrong.
Change your server.
You can
button.
change the server that the test is run on. For example, if I wanted to
change your
it,
server.
I could
Olds AB.
hit
Old
the
NET.
click Change Server button.
Rose 73 to 80 of 100.
Any random server, and there's thousands if you really have the time to look through all of them.
Button.
Again, another unlabeled button.
Change your server. Selected. Auto select server. Button.
So in this you have auto select server.
Edmonton AB. Selected.
Which is what I have selected. So that button,
Change button.
That's unlabeled is the
display speed in. Selected.
Back button. So
change your server.
Let's go
current
back
server.
To the current server.
Save button.
So once you change it, you have to hit this save button. So I just flicked right from the current server icon, and then you would have to hit the save button.
Edmonton AB.
Save.
But
I'm just flicking right through the settings now.
Edmonton AB. Toulouse. Change your server button. Display speeds in. Selected. Mbps button.
So you can either display your speeds in megabits per second or
KB/S button.
Kilobits per second.
Gauge scale.
This is just to adjust your gauge scale of the test.
Selected. 50M button. 150M button. 300M button. External IP.
And then it has my external IP.
6 internal IP. 10. Restore purchases button.
Internal IP and restore purchases.
Version 3.6.1.
Finally, it has the version. And that's all you have for settings. Now let's go to the About tab to round this podcast off.
Selected. About. Ookla operates speed tests using a massive global infrastructure to minimize the impact of internet congestion and latency. With millions of tests performed every day across thousands of servers, Ookla speed test is the de facto standard for primary network testing. Speed test uses the same core technology found in the Ookla suite of products which are used by a wide variety of organizations. Learn more at ookla.com, link. And be sure to visit Speed Test Awards, link. To review the fastest ISPs and mobile networks as determined by the millions of real-world speed tests taken by users like you on our website and mobile apps. Privacy policy, link. Vertical line. Terms of use, link. Copyright signed 2015. Ookla, link. All rights reserved.
Basically, you're just standard info about the app.
Well, how do you like that, guys? We finished all our good stories on time. Without the help of those digital individuals. I wonder where they are now anyway. I mean, I guess they thought I fired them. But, maybe they did get their jobs narrating for PCs. Anyway, I'm sure before Christmas comes, Joey, Sally, et al. Will appear. Hopefully. Well, that's the TechCove for this week, guys. Thank you for listening, and have a great remainder of your weekend. Time to shut her down.
Thanks for listening to today's TechCove. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. Tune in again next week at the same time for another edition with Sean Hosbury.